Archangel Michael says, "Listen, this is for you, and only you. Breathe. I stand at the doorway of your heart with a lamp held high. My voice is not meant to frighten you but to wake you, to steady you, to pull you close when the world spins too fast and shadows pretend to be friends. Right now there is a hush that has fallen over your home, a hush that will not last. I say to you, it is an emergency of the soul, not of panic. It is a heartbreak that must be seen so that healing can begin. You will soon receive news that will feel like a sudden winter inside your chest, cold, quiet, full of words you did not expect. The news will arrive like a visitor at midnight. It will knock softly, then it will step in and rearrange your world. Do not turn away. Do not ignore the knock. The person who has caused the sharpest sting in your life is not a stranger with a mask. The one who hurt you is someone close, someone who sat at your table, who heard your laughter, who learned the secret places of your trust. This is the one who taught your heart to hope and then left you bewildered when hope faltered. I tell you this not to burn bridges or to sow seeds of bitterness. I reveal this so the wound can be named. When a wound is named, it stops hiding. When the truth is spoken, the first light can enter and warm what has been numbed. You will feel a tidal pull of confusion. How? Why? Those questions are sacred gateways. Ask them. Let the how and why be keys, not prisons. Understand that people sometimes hurt because of their own fear, their own smallness, their own secrets. Some cause pain because they could not carry the truth properly. Others mistake love for possession, and in their clumsy holding, they break what they treasured. This does not excuse what they did. It simply explains how human hearts sometimes go astray. Right now, walk gently through your home as if it were the body that carries your soul. Place your hand on the walls and whisper the names of your safest memories. Anchor yourself in the things that do not shift with news, the sound of rain on your window, a photograph that makes you smile even when your face feels raw, the name of a song that has always steadied you. These are not small things. They are anchors the angels use to keep you from drifting. You will want to react. You will feel the flush of heat that asks for confrontation, for an answer that lands like a hammer. Wait a breath. There is power in a single patient moment. Let your first words be measured, not molten. Speak from the place in your chest where truth and tenderness meet. Say what you feel, not what you imagine you should feel. Say it plainly, I was hurt. This happened. I feel lost. The person who hurt you will defend themselves, or they will be silent. Either way, your voice does not need to erupt into accusation. A voice that speaks from pain and clarity is a light that does not harm the one who hears it, it simply exposes what needs to be healed. If the one who hurt you is a beloved, know this: love that breaks is still a form of truth. Sometimes love reveals its edges by cutting. That does not make you less worthy. It makes you human, worthy of gentler hands and truer promises. You are permitted to withdraw. You are permitted to place a door between you and what is unsafe. Setting a boundary is an act of sacred self-respect. It is not vengeance. It is not bitterness. It is a promise to the small self inside you who needs shelter to breathe. I ask you to watch for 3 signs in the days ahead. First, the trembling of your inner voice when you speak the truth. Second, the way your body answers, maybe with a tightness in the throat, a hollow in the stomach, or a sudden weight in your limbs. Third, the quiet moments when memories arrive uninvited. Use these signs as barometers. Do not deny them. Name them. Write them down if you must. The act of naming is a ritual of turning fear into language, and language into a map. When the heartbreaking news arrives, do not believe every story that comes with it. People tell stories to soften their own pain. Sometimes they shade the truth to avoid shame. There will be explanations offered like soft cloths trying to cover a wound. Some will be honest, others will hide more than they reveal. Your task is not to be the judge of every heart. Your task is to be the keeper of your heart. Let others explain themselves, but keep the final say about what you will accept into the sanctuary of your life. You will be tempted to replay old scenes, to make a brittle theater in your head where every wrong line is repeated until you believe it is the only script. This is not your duty. Let the past be a teacher, not a jailer. Forgiveness is not erasing. It is the grace of refusing to let bitterness grow roots where your life should bloom. Forgive for your own freedom, not for the approval of those who broke you. There will be a day, sooner than you expect, when sunlight arrives at an odd angle and something ordinary will seem luminous. You will remember yourself as someone who can breathe again. That moment will not fix everything, but it will prove that the heart is not fragile beyond repair. It bends, it repairs, it becomes wiser where once it was soft. Do not try to fix the person who hurt you. This is a sacred line. Only each soul can carry its own healing. Offer kindness if it is healthy to do so. Withdraw if kindness would be a doorway to further harm. Love is not a tool you must always present. Sometimes love is the courage to leave, to protect, to rebuild in a safer place. If reconciliation comes, let it be because actions changed, not because words sounded differently. Let repentance be daily work, not a single speech. If it does not come, you have the right to build a life that does not center around that absence. Call on me when the night is loud. Say my name softly, Michael, and I will stand between you and the loudest part of fear. I will place my sword of light not to strike but to cut away the threads that tie you to what is not life-giving. I will wrap my wing around your shoulders and remind you that you are not alone. Angels gather where hearts are brave enough to admit their hurt and soft enough to ask for help. Here are practical steps to carry you through the immediate hours and the next few weeks. breathe. When the shock arrives, sit down and take 5 slow breaths. Tell your body, you are safe in this place. Call one trusted person, a friend, a sibling, someone whose voice calms you, and ask them to stay on the line as you sort through what you feel. If you can, write a short note to the person who hurt you. You can tear it up later. The purpose is to get the words out of your chest and onto paper. Make food for yourself that feels like comfort, something simple and nurturing. Move your body in humble ways. Wash your face, step outside for a minute, light a candle if it helps you find a point of light to focus on. Do not make any major decisions in the first wild hours. Pain narrows vision, healing broadens it. Remember to protect your sacred privacy. Not everyone needs to know every detail. Share with those who love you well and who will hold your story with care. Protect the tender parts of yourself from gossip and from those who might use your hurt for their own gaining. Keep a small circle of truth-tellers, people who will remind you who you are when you forget. You will also need a soundtrack for your healing. Choose songs that do not dredge the wound wide open but that hold space for courage. Read words that feel like soft armor, short prayers, a poem that has always felt like a blanket, a passage from a book that steadied you in a storm before. Let art be one of your allies. The imagination is a sacred physician. It mends with stories, pictures, and small acts of beauty. Do not neglect your small needs. Sleep will be uneven. If you can, let the house be quiet for an extra hour in the morning. Drink water like a promise to yourself. Speak to a counselor or a wise listener if your mind becomes a tangle. There is no shame in seeking help. Every soul deserves a companion on the path out of pain. When the one who hurt you tries to explain, listen for action, not for words alone. Words can comfort, but they are also tools of distraction. Watch whether steps change. Does their life begin to look different in ways that protect you? Do they show steadiness when it matters? Are they willing to make amends humbly and to carry the cost of restoring trust? If the answer is no, do not feel compelled to remain. There will be moments of anger, and anger is an honest messenger. Let it speak and then let it go. Do not let anger take the wheel. Take its message, that something important was crossed, and turn that energy into protection and into the creation of a gentler future. Use anger to draw stronger boundaries, to build a life shaped by your values, not shaped by someone else's wrongs. When you think of home, remember that home is not only a place, it is a condition of your soul. It is where your heart is allowed to be small and big and messy and whole. Redeclare what home means to you. Invite into it only those who honor the sacredness of your being. Rebuild the spaces where you feel safe. If that means rearranging furniture, painting a wall, or planting a seed in a window box, do those things and watch how small acts change the contour of your life. There will be unexpected allies. Sometimes a neighbor you barely know will offer bread or a gentle conversation. Sometimes a child will say something that makes you laugh at the exact moment you thought laughter would not return. Keep your eyes open to small mercies. Angels work in the ordinary, a warm cup of tea, the sun falling on your hands, a text that says only, "I'm here." Do not measure your healing by any other person's timetable. Time is not a blunt instrument. It is a patient teacher. Some days you will feel 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Other days you will wake and know without a doubt that the future is different now. Hold both experiences. That is how recovery grows, in the soil of patience and in the steady light of daily kindness to yourself. If you pray, pray these simple lines: Archangel Michael, stand with me. Guard my heart. Bring truth to light. Give me courage to see clearly and to choose what is life-giving. If you are not a person who prays, speak to the silence like you would to a trusted friend. Tell it your sorrow. Tell it your hopes. The universe answers in small ways: a quiet morning, a calm breath, a door that opens where there was only a wall. There is a future that waits for you that does not carry the shadow of this wound. It is not a future that denies pain, it is a future that has room for the scar but is not defined by it. In that future you will meet people who respect the shape of your heart. You will laugh without checking for danger. You will open your hands and find they hold gifts you did not expect: resilience, a clearer sense of who you are, an ability to see the difference between a passing storm and a home that will shelter you. If the heartbreaking news brings loss, allow yourself to grieve. Grief is a sacred teacher. There is no schedule for mourning. Let tears be the honest rain that softens the ground for new seeds. If the news brings betrayal without loss, let yourself mourn what could have been. Mourn the untraveled roads, the quiet dinners that will never happen, the promises that dissolved. Mourn, and then slowly, like a hand learning to play a new chord, allow new notes to come. You may be angry at God or at me for bringing this to light. That is a human and holy response. If you are angry, speak that anger to the sky. Rage at what is unfair. Then rest when you can. You are permitted every feeling. You are not required to be noble in the way others define nobility. You are required to be honest with yourself. There will come a day when you will stand in a room that once held heavy silence and realize the silence now is peaceful. You will notice how your breathing is easier. You will catch yourself smiling at a small thing and realize the smile had been waiting for you. That day will not erase the story, but it will show that you survived it and that the soul can mend and grow softer and stronger at once. Remember always, being hurt does not make you small. Being wounded does not make you unworthy. It makes you a witness to life's paradox. In our deepest breaks, new light can enter. I, Archangel Michael, do not promise an absence of pain. I promise presence in it. I promise to stand between you and harm, to walk by your side when the nights are long, and to fling open the gates when it is time for joy to return. Open what needs opening. Speak the truth that needs to be said. Protect your inner light as you would guard a flame in a wind. Listen to the people who love you well. Take practical steps to care for yourself. Let boundaries be your armor and kindness be your compass. The one who hurt you must face their own reflection. You are not the instrument of their punishment. You are the keeper of your healing. Let justice be a thing that comes not from vengeance but from balance, from the natural consequence of choices. When actions change, trust can be rebuilt slowly, like brick by brick. When actions do not change, allow yourself the mercy of leaving. I am with you. I have always been with you. When it feels darkest, know that my lamp burns steady. Call me, and I will come. Let this painful revelation be an invitation, not to despair, but to greater truth, clearer love, and the fierce, tender protection of your own heart. Open the letter. Open the conversation. Open your palms. Open to the possibility that on the other side of this heartbreak is a new capacity for joy that could not have existed before. God attractive word message, God message, God says, Archangel Michael says, it's an emergency, a heartbreaking news is coming on your home. The one who hurt you is. Open it quickly. Listen, not with the ears that only hear the day's small noises, but with the part of you that has been kept quiet, the place where your heart remembers truth even when your mind forgets. Archangel Michael stands before you now with a presence that is both gentle and urgent, like a lantern held up in a storm so you can see the path home. He is not angry, he is compassionate, decisive, and fierce in his love for you. He calls your name in a voice that vibrates with warmth and steel. He asks you to open what you have been avoiding, to receive what must be known, to face the tender, painful thing that will ultimately set you free. There is a hush before the words, a quiet like the breath held when something fragile is about to be handed across a table. The hush holds a promise, not of sudden ruin, but of an ending that welcomes a new beginning. Michael whispers that the news coming to your home will feel like a breaking open, a breaking up of old arrangements that no longer serve your soul. It will touch a place that has ached for recognition, that has quietly catalogued betrayals and petty cruelties and secret slights, and now those records will be illuminated. The one who hurt you, the person who pressed small, persistent wounds into the fabric of your life, will be revealed in the way the truth reveals itself, through simple details, through the ordinary, through an ordinary day that becomes sacred because you see it clearly for the first time. This is not spoken to cause fear. It is spoken to arm you with the light of understanding. For years, perhaps, you have carried a particular weight, small things that accumulated, promises that frayed, the bitter taste of being overlooked where your heart poured out. You learn to swallow questions, to soften the versions of yourself that might cause friction, to make yourself smaller so you wouldn't displease. The one who hurt you learned, too, how to make harm look small. They learned how to make apology sound like a bandage over a wound that needed tending. They learned to redirect blame, to cast doubt where your confidence once stood firm. They treated your heart as if it were a thing to be managed rather than a realm to be honored. Tonight, or in the days to come, something will arrive that gives words to your nameless ache. It may be a letter, a message, a call, an unexpected visitor, a paper that was tucked away and now finds its way to your hands. The instruments of revelation are small because truth does not always come with thunder. It will say what your soul has suspected. It will confirm the quietings, the manipulations, the cunning disguises that hid cruelty in the shape of care. The shock is not in the existence of the hurt, but in the lifting of the veil. You will finally have the clear view you deserve. Archangel Michael asks you to open this carefully, with one hand over your heart. Prepare to breathe as if you are drawing in courage like air. Do not let the world rush you into decisions. Be tender with yourself. You are being offered clarity. Clarity is a sacred tool. Use it. The initial pain is real and necessary. Think of it as the pain of removal that precedes growth. When a splinter is drawn, the wound stings, but the healing that follows is real and whole. You will grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. Grief is not a weakness here, it is a true conversation with what has been broken. Give it time, give it water, give it the witness of someone who can hold you without fixing you. Michael stands near, offering his hand, his sword not as an instrument of harm but as a boundary drawn in light. He will not cut you off from compassion. He will cut away what refuses to honor your dignity. Be aware that the one who hurt you may appear as someone you trusted. They may have been a companion, a neighbor, a family member, or someone who wore kindness like a cloak while their hands were busy taking. The truth is often carried in small, repeating acts rather than dramatic betrayals. Look at patterns. Where were promises made and not kept? Where did explanations follow consequences instead of precede them? Where was your voice minimized, or laughed off, or turned into a joke to make you feel foolish for speaking? These are not trivialities. They are signposts. When the heartbreaking news arrives, your first instinct may be to defend, to explain away, to smooth the uneven edges so that the people you love do not suffer. Archangel Michael says, you are not required to soften the truth to make others comfortable. There is a sacred right to your own clarity. That does not mean you must wage war. It means that you are permitted to set boundaries that prioritize your healing. You may step back from conversations, from places, from people who repeatedly place you in the position of needing to prove your worth. You may say, without apology, "I will not be treated this way." You may choose silence where once you chose explanation. You may refuse the script that has been read to you for years. You will feel a mixture of relief and loss. Relief, because the fog lifts and you can finally walk without the weight of unspoken things. Loss, because the picture of how life would be if only that person had been different will not come to pass. These two can coexist. Let them. They are both true. In this liminal season, the space after the news and before the settling, your resilience will be forged. You are stronger than you know. The strength you need is not the kind that blusters and bludgeons, it is the quiet resolve that arranges your life around your worth. Archangel Michael speaks to the child inside you who still believes in fairness. He draws near and cradles that child with tenderness. He reminds you that being harmed was not your fault. God says, "Listen closely, for this message is only for you." Archangel Michael is here, and he says, it is an emergency. Right now, something is happening that you need to be aware of, and you cannot delay. Do not ignore this message, do not push it aside, do not say it can wait. Michael is crying loudly because too many times you have ignored his calls, too many times you have skipped the signs, too many times you have turned your back when he came to protect you. But now, the urgency is beyond anything you have felt before. He says, open your eyes, open your heart, open your mind, because what is coming is about your home, about your sanctuary, about the place where you thought you were safe. There is heartbreaking news coming, and God wants you prepared, wants you aware, wants you shielded with divine light. The one who hurt you, the one who betrayed your trust, the one you thought would never turn against you, this person's actions are now reaching a point that you cannot ignore. God says, their hidden schemes, their secret plans, their intentions that were buried in shadows are being revealed. The timing is now. You may feel fear, anxiety, shock, disbelief, but God wants you to know, you are protected. Nothing can touch you that God has not already placed a shield around. You are safe, you are loved, you are divinely guarded. But Michael says, do not delay, do not try to rationalize, do not tell yourself it is just coincidence or that it will pass. This is real. This is serious. And it demands your immediate attention. God is telling you that there will be moments in the next hours where your mind will try to wander, where distractions will pull you away, where doubt will creep in. Resist those moments. Archangel Michael says, pray. Pray with your whole heart. Speak to God as if your life depends on it, because in a spiritual sense, it does. The heartbreak that is approaching is not meant to harm you, it is meant to awaken you. The pain is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to open your eyes to the truth, to reveal the reality you have been avoiding. The one who hurt you is now in a position where their actions cannot remain hidden. Their deception cannot continue. And God says, you will see the truth, and it will shock you, and it will break your heart, but it will also free you. Michael tells you that often, those who hurt us are people we least expect. They can be family members, friends, neighbors, colleagues, or even those who pretend to love us. God wants you to know, their intentions are no longer able to remain in the shadows. The universe is aligning, heavenly forces are moving, angels are descending, and divine justice is awakening. You may not understand it now. You may not be able to see it clearly yet. But when the truth is revealed, when the veil is lifted, you will recognize that every tear, every pain, every betrayal you have endured has been a preparation for this moment. Michael says, do not be afraid of the revelation. It is a necessary step for your spiritual growth. God says, take a deep breath. Feel the presence of Archangel Michael around you. Feel the weight of his wings protecting you. Feel the warmth of God's light filling your home. Nothing can enter that light unless it is meant to. Nothing can harm you while you are under God's protection. You may feel fear, that is natural. But let it be a fear that awakens you, not a fear that paralyzes you. Michael says, the one who hurt you may try to manipulate, may try to hide, may try to convince others that you are overreacting, that you are imagining things, that you are too sensitive. Do not listen to them. Trust your inner voice, trust God's guidance, trust the signs that you have been given. God says, do not be passive. Open your eyes to the details you may have ignored before. Notice the small signs, the inconsistencies, the whispers, the unusual behavior. Archangel Michael says, the time for hesitation is over. What you ignored yesterday, what you brushed aside last week, what you thought was not important, these are the very keys to understanding the heartbreak that is approaching. Do not ignore them. Observe them. Remember them. They are your protection. They are your warning. They are your chance to prepare. Michael says, be ready. Heartbreaking news does not always come in a way that you expect. It may come as a message, as a letter, as a visit, as a phone call, as a sudden revelation that shakes the foundation of your home, your family, your relationships. It may bring tears. It may bring anger. It may bring shock. But Michael wants you to know, even in the darkest moments, God is with you. Even when your heart feels shattered, you are not alone. Even when your trust is broken, divine love surrounds you. God says, remember this, the one who hurt you is facing consequences that you cannot yet see. Their actions are being exposed in the spiritual realm, in ways that are beyond human understanding. Justice is coming. Not revenge, not hatred, not bitterness, but justice. and you are being prepared to witness it without being consumed by it. Archangel Michael says, hold fast to your faith. Pray for clarity. Pray for protection. Pray for strength. Pray for discernment. These prayers will act as a shield around you, a light in the darkness, a voice of reason in chaos. Michael wants you to be vigilant. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to the messages you receive, the events that unfold, the coincidences that are not coincidences. God says, nothing is random. Nothing happens without purpose. Even the heartbreak that is approaching has a reason, even the shock has a purpose, even the revelation has a divine meaning. And when you understand it fully, you will realize that God has been protecting you all along, guiding you, warning you, preparing you for this moment. Do not underestimate the power of prayer. Even if you feel hopeless, even if you feel tired, even if you feel afraid, speak to God. Ask Michael to stand by your side. Ask the angels to guard your home. Ask for guidance. Ask for clarity. Ask for protection. And then, listen. Listen to the still, small voice inside you. Listen to the signs. Listen to the warnings. They are your lifeline. They are your shield. They are your connection to God's protection. God says, there is no need to act out of fear. Act out of awareness. Act out of divine guidance. Act out of love. Michael says, the one who hurt you may attempt to cause chaos, may attempt to manipulate events, may try to create confusion. But God's plan is greater than their intentions. God's light is stronger than their darkness. God's truth will prevail, and you will witness it. And in witnessing it, you will be stronger, wiser, and more aware. Archangel Michael says, do not close this message. Do not delay. Do not say later. Open it now. Feel it now. Absorb it now. The more you delay, the more vulnerable you become to doubt, fear, and distraction. But in this moment, in this sacred now, God is offering you protection, guidance, and clarity. Take it. Receive it. Embrace it. Let it fill your heart, your mind, your home, and your soul. God says, trust. Trust even if you do not understand. Trust even if the path seems unclear. Trust even if heartbreak seems imminent. Trust because divine forces are aligned for your safety, your protection, your awakening. Michael says, keep your focus, keep your prayers, keep your faith, and nothing will harm you. Nothing will touch you that is not meant to be a lesson. Nothing will enter your space that God has not already surrounded with light. You are safe. You are loved. You are guided. And when the heartbreaking news arrives, when the truth is revealed, when the betrayal is exposed, remember this: it is part of God's plan. It is part of your spiritual growth. It is part of awakening your soul to the higher truth. You are not powerless. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. Michael says, you are strong, and with God's guidance, you will overcome everything. God says, the one who hurt you is not beyond redemption, but their actions will be exposed. Their secrets will no longer be hidden. And in witnessing this, you will see the strength of God's justice, the power of Michael's protection, and the depth of divine love that surrounds you. So take this message seriously. Take it with urgency. Take it with faith. Open your heart, open your home, open your soul to the protection, guidance, and love that God and Archangel Michael are offering you. Pray, trust, and prepare, for the events that are coming are significant. They are meaningful. They are powerful. And they are for your highest good. Do not fear. Do not panic. Do not be overwhelmed. God and Michael are with you. Your home is protected. Your spirit is guarded. Your path is illuminated. And even as heartbreaking news arrives, even as shocking truths are revealed, you will stand strong, guided by divine light, protected by angelic presence, and surrounded by infinite love. Michael says, remain vigilant, remain prayerful, remain aware, remain faithful. The one who hurt you will be revealed. The truth will come to light. And in this revelation, you will understand, you will learn, you will grow, and you will be free. God says, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are loved. You are protected. Trust this. Trust this completely. Do not ignore this message. Do not delay. Open your heart and your mind. Pray. Trust. Prepare. And know that Archangel Michael is standing by your side, wings extended, sword drawn, tears flowing, but ready to defend you against anything that comes your way. You are safe. You are protected. You are guided. And God will not abandon you. God says, my beloved, my child, hear me carefully, for I am speaking directly to your heart, and this is a message meant only for you. Archangel Michael stands before you now, and he brings urgency, clarity, and truth that cannot wait. The hour is heavy with significance, and the winds of destiny are moving faster than you can perceive. Do not delay, do not hesitate, and do not dismiss the stirrings in your soul that pull you toward this message. This is not an ordinary moment, my precious one. Something is arriving, something that will challenge your understanding, shake your inner world, and awaken the deepest layers